Hi, TJ. Some call me Jim here, and I wanted to talk to you today about love. And you created a video that I thought was excellent. It was very honest, very open, very real video about what is love and how do you love. And not talking about the romantic love, but about the other sort of love. In the Greek language, they actually had several different types of love. The romantic love, the sort of love that you would have, for example, in a passionate, romantic, physical relationship was called eros love. And that's the kind that you weren't talking about. In fact, you specifically said it's not the romantic love. I think what you're talking about was more towards the phileo love. Phileo means a brotherly love. If you remember the city Philadelphia, which is the city of brotherly love, that's the reason that city gets that name, because phileo is Greek for love, and a brotherly love. Before I get any further, I have to admit, you're not the only sinner. I've got these, which are chocolate chip cookies, the dough. And they say that you're not supposed to eat. They say that you're not supposed to eat raw cookie dough because, the eggs or whatever it is kill you. I looked at the back of this. I don't see eggs anywhere in the ingredients, so. Good stuff. Anyway, TJ, back onto the subject. You want to know if you love and how to love. And honestly, man, I got to tell you, of all the people I know on YouTube, I think you do the best job of genuinely caring for people. And when somebody says something, taking it to heart and genuinely saying, okay, I see where you're coming from. I see your perspective. In the terms of love, quote unquote, I think that you do a pretty darn good job from what I see. Now, if you're feeling like you're not doing a good job and you want to know some guidelines for how to be loving, I can give you a little bit of advice. Now, I have not cornered the market on love. As I said in my comment that I left on your video, and by the way, your response was wonderful. That was very touching, TJ. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. But as I said, I don't think anybody can ever master love. I don't think anybody can truly know what it means to love somebody perfectly, to be the perfect friend, to be the perfect buddy, partner, whatever. I think love is something that you're always going to have to be studying, and you're always going to have to be learning if you want to be good at it. It's just like everything else. If you want to be good at it, you have to practice. It's like football, it's like basketball, it's like quantum physics. If you don't study it, you're not going to succeed. And so the same thing goes for love. Now, if you see me looking back and forth like this, that's only partly because I'm ADD. Oh, by the way, the green back there, that's the chroma key screen. I actually set it up behind my couch, and I've been using that for the last umpteen trillion videos. I think I'm going to go back to regular videos before long, so don't worry, guys. I'm going to do a couple more gym classes on this thing, and then, we'll get back to the vlogs and stuff. And I'll probably throw another vlog in before I do another gym class. I'm getting a little derailed. These things are really good. So anyway, if I'm doing this, going back and forth, that's actually because I have my laptop sitting right over here, and while I'm talking to you, I'm also going to be looking at the laptop where I have some stuff jotted down to help me through this. Because love is a tricky subject. One that, again, I don't think anybody can master. So, if you want to kind of bookmark how good you are at loving, and you want to improve how you love, here are a few characteristics of love that you can hold yourself to, you can look at and say, how do I match up to this, and how can I improve my stance in this position? The first aspect of love that I'm going to talk about is patience. How patient are you with the people that you love? A few years ago, my wife's grandfather had a really bad stroke. It was just a very, very bad one. His wife, my wife's grandmother, absolutely reflected patience. His slur in speech, his inability to speak, was so bad that sometimes he couldn't get the right word out. Sometimes he would get the wrong word out entirely. Sometimes he couldn't even talk. He could only mumble a couple words. But she stuck by him, and every time he tried to say something, she listened, and she waited till he got everything he could out. And then she did her very best to work with that. She was so patient with him. She is a shining example of patience, and that's an important aspect of love. Another aspect of love is kindness. And that one kind of seems like an obvious one, love, kind, but as a very separate aspect of love itself, kindness is a very important issue that I think we need to look at. How many married people out there say, oh, I love my mother-in-law, but when she comes to visit, it's just, oh, get her out of the house. By the way, my mother-in-law watches these videos. That does not apply to you. I really do love you. You're great. Basically, the picture that comes to my mind when I think of true kindness is this. You have a sandwich in your hands. You're walking down the street. You see a homeless person. You take that sandwich and you give it to him. That's kindness. That's giving something of yours to somebody who might not even deserve it. But because you see them and you have compassion for them and that you love them, you show them this kindness. And so if you love somebody, you'll show them kindness. So now we've looked at two things, TJ. We've looked at if you love somebody, you'll be patient with them. If you love somebody, you'll be kind with them. Here's some things that if you love people, you won't do. If you love somebody, you're not going to envy them. You're not going to be envious of them. You're not going to be jealous and resentful of them. When you think about people that you love, something that should come to your mind is how happy you are for them when something happens that's good. Oh, hey, Bill, my buddy at work got a promotion. That's great. That's love. Bill got that promotion and doggone it, I deserved it. That's not love. Love is not envious. Love doesn't want what somebody else gets. Here are a couple other things that you won't do if you love someone. You won't be boastful and you won't be proud. And those two kind of go together in my book. In my opinion, boasting and being proud are two things that kind of tie together. If I get that big raise or that big promotion, it would not be loving for me to gloat and to say, hey, look at all the stuff I've got. Look at how good I'm doing. That would not be love because, again, I'm putting me first. I'm thinking about myself before others. And, you know, that's never going to amount to love. So if you're being boastful, if you're being proud, then you're not showing signs that you truly love a person. Because if you love a person, you're not going to be boastful and you're not going to be proud. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being happy. You know, you're talking to your best friend, hey, guess what? I just got that big promotion. Or, hey, you know, my wife bought me this Ferrari that I've always wanted. Or the Jeep I've always wanted, honey, if you're watching. But, you know, that's different from boasting, from saying, look what I have that you don't have. Or being proud, saying, look what I have made for myself. So let's recap again real quickly. If you love somebody, you're going to be patient with them. If you love somebody, you're going to be kind to them. If you love somebody, you're not going to envy them. You're not going to be boastful around them. You're not going to be proud. You're going to put them first. That's what everything has come to so far. Here's another one for you. If you love somebody, you're not going to be rude to them. Again, this comes down to showing the other person that you care more about them than you do about yourself, or at least as much about them as you do about yourself. I'm not going to go to my friends and start calling them names or slamming them down. That's just rude. It's just not right. You're not going to do things that are unacceptable socially to them. And, to an extent, I can understand, jabbing, a little bit, making a little comments about, when you're in the locker room talking about the game or when you're doing stuff like that. That's cool, man. I understand. We all do that. That's especially guys. And that's one thing, but when you're being rude to somebody intentionally, when you're mocking them, when you're making a joke out of them in front of them, or especially behind their backs, you're not loving them. Alright, so everything that we've come down to, what does it add up to? Love, here's another one. Love is not self-seeking. That's what it adds up to. Love is not about you. It's not about, who am I? What can I get out of this? How can I benefit? Love is about, I care about you, and therefore you have the priority. That's what a friendship's about. That's what love is about. So love isn't self-seeking. And TJ, love is also not easily angered. If you love somebody, you're not going to fly off the handle at them. And this is something I think that is something that a lot of women need to look at in relationships they're in with boyfriends or even husbands. If somebody beats you or takes a hand to you, you need to question whether that they really love you or not. Love is not easily angered. I could never be angered to the point where I would hit my wife. I think even if she were beating on me, I could not bring myself to hit my wife. I don't think it's even possible for me to do that. And that's because I love her. And again, not a romantic love. It's because I love her as a friend, as my best friend, as somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I'm not going to get easily angered. I can't let those things get to me. I can't let myself get angered to the point where I do stupid stuff like that. That's not true love. And so, if there's abuse, there's not love. If there's anger that comes out of nowhere, if you can, and here's another example. Before my parents got divorced, my dad was so angry when my mom would not have the house totally spotless. When he would get home from work, he would explode. He would absolutely throw fits. He would smash furniture. He would throw chairs. There were several times, my mom's told me stories where there were several times where he threw objects at her that could have killed her. But love is not going to be something that's easily angered, easily provoked into doing things that are stupid like that. Love, again, is about the other person. And if I care about somebody else, I'm never going to harm them. I'm never going to bring harm to them. That's not love. And I'm wrapping this up. I know this has gone on for a long time, TJ, but you asked about how to know if you're loving, and so I want to go into everything I know about how to be loving, and that's why this is taking so long. One more point I wanted to bring up. Love never comes out of dissension, discord, evil, and lies. Love always comes out of truth. If you are somebody that you're not, if you're not being authentic, if you're lying to somebody about who you are because you want them to love you, that's not really love. That's putting on a show. Anybody can put on a show, really. I'm giving some improv classes in a few weeks. If anybody wants to learn how to put on a show, I'll teach you. But really, anybody can put on a show. It doesn't take talent. Love doesn't put on a false face, doesn't put on a facade of, well, I'm this person, I'm a great guy to get to know. Love is honest. Love is me saying to my friends here on YouTube, I'm nobody special. I've got nothing to offer. I've got nothing I can do for you that you can't find from anybody else. But if you spend time with me, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I show you that I appreciate you. That's what love is. Love is being honest, is saying, here's who I am. Here am I. I'm putting me on the line. I am risking everything by stepping out and exposing who I am to you. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But this is who I am. And I'm willing to love you, and I'm hoping that you'll love me. But I'm going to be honest. And that's love. Finally, here's some things love always does. Love always protects. It always protects. It looks out for others. It looks out for that person that you love. Love always trusts. If you're distrusting of somebody, you don't really love them. Love is trust. And if somebody's violated your trust, it's going to take a while to build that love back up. It really is. But you know, if you love somebody, you will give them a reasonable amount of trust. So, love always protects. Love always trusts. Love always hopes. All the time, you hope for the best. You hope for that person. And love always preserves. Love seeks to maintain love. If you love somebody, and again, this is not speaking just of romantic love. This is speaking of that friendship love, the brotherly love. If you love somebody, you're going to try to keep loving them. You're going to try to keep them as a friend. And you're going to try to maintain that friendship. You know, TJ, somebody I think who was really a wise man, years ahead of his time, once said that you should love your neighbor as yourself. That when you love somebody, it's as though they are you. And that's hard. Especially for people like me, where I came from a situation where I had a family that didn't show me how to love. That makes loving so much more difficult when you were raised with a bad conception of what love is. But you know, it's possible to love. And man, TJ, whoever told you that you don't love and you'll never love, I don't know what they're smoking, but man, it's some pretty powerful stuff. Because TJ, everything I've seen in you, everything that I know about you, and that's not a lot, I'll admit, just what I've seen through YouTube, what I've seen through chatting with you on Stickum, you know, it seems obvious to me that you are somebody who, you've had some trouble in the past, but you have pegged love dead on. And you're working on it, and you are getting better at it every day. And so, man, keep moving in the right direction. Don't listen to people who say you don't know how to love. You know, if somebody tells you that, you should respond back, hey, I might not know how to love as good as you, but I know how to love, and I'm building on my love. I'm getting better at loving. Because that's what all of us are. We're all, in one way or another, loving more or less to an extent. We're growing in how much we can love through our understanding of love. And as we learn how to love better and we learn how to love more, we do love more and we do love better. But it's a process, and that's what I'm getting to, is that nobody's going to wake up one morning and go from the biggest jerk on the planet to being the most loving, caring guy. Look at, here's a funny movie, Groundhog Day, with Bill Murray. You watch in that movie a gradual transformation over the course of the same day, repeating itself over and over, where this guy that nobody can really like, and in the back of everybody's minds, he's just a big jerk, goes from that to being the type of person that everybody wants to be around, everybody wants to love. That didn't happen overnight. Well, I guess technically, the whole thing took place on Groundhog's Day. So it did happen overnight. And then you get the point. It was years and years in Groundhog Day's time where he was learning how to love. And he was learning how to be a real human being that cared about others. So it doesn't happen overnight. And with everything that I've gone through in life, and with everything that I know that you and other people have gone through in life here on this website, you can't be expected to be the best friend overnight. But you know, TJ, just stay on the path that you're on, man. You're doing incredible. You really are. And again, when somebody says that you're not loving and you'll never will be, just tell them, you know, I might not be as loving as you, but I'm working on it. And someday I will be. Because it's true, TJ. If you keep going the way you're going, you are going to be an incredible friend to so many people, and you already are. That's the thing. And I don't know if I can express it properly, but, even just me personally, you have given me a lot of hope. You have given me a lot to look forward to. You have given me a lot of respect for so many different things in life that I did not have the same respect for before I met you, and before I saw your videos here, and before I started chatting with you on Stickum. Really, TJ, you have changed lives, and you have been a great friend. And so, man, I just, yeah. That's really all I got, TJ. Keep it up, man. You're doing great. Don't let these people get to you. Don't let it get you down. Till next time, some call me Jim, and that's all I got. Later.